Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Shadow Sage, and today we're finally kicking off our Draft League stuff for the new Indigo Disc DLC, and we're starting off with the Pokemon Draft Dynasty, or the PDD. So yeah, this is a draft run by Kilowaboom and KJ. So big shout outs to them and everybody else over there that's contributing, bringing me in to play this season and stuff. Super appreciative and super happy to be here. So yeah, so PDD, I was pick number 13 of 16, like you can see. So not the best position, but not the worst position. Certainly take that over like being dead center in the middle. So, but yeah, let's go ahead, hop into it, and let's see just a quick little breakdown of the rules. So this is season 3 for the PDD, and they are having one total division with 16 coaches in it. Pretty cool, very large division, but we have definitely caught up with how many Pokemon so we have in the game, so it's not as bad anymore. So 8 weeks with a Friday upload. We have a lot of leagues coming out, spoiler alert, so we might be flexible on some upload days, but I think PDD was the first one that started, so I think it's only fair to give them the actual Friday upload day. So there's that. Top 8 make playoffs. We have 10 to 11 picks with a 110 point total budget. Very tight budget. I kind of like that. Definitely going to make for some creative and fun stuff. But on the other hand of that, we have a 25 points, very large Terra budget. So, and with that, we can select Terra captains from the 10 points or less. And then we can have up to 3 of them, and then 3 Terra types, with those Terra types being stabbed. So very standard, kind of the quote-unquote low-tier Terra, or as Eli put it, the kids menu, which I think is actually pretty funny. But yeah, so very large Terra budget though, and I kind of like that. Definitely going to, again, post some fun creativity, and then you know, have some really cool Terra captains for sure. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much the quick breakdown of it. Let's go ahead and finally get into what I picked up for this team. So first and foremost, we got my boy Excadrill back. Excadrill, if you've been following me since Generation 8, I have drafted a few times, and it has been an insanely well-performing Pokemon every single time. So yeah, gives me rapid spin, gives me a little bit of hazards, but most importantly gives me sand abuse. So spoiler alert, you already know there's a sand setter on the team somewhere. So yeah, so insanely strong Pokemon. Sand Rush is of course an insane ability with that much speed, but also Mold Breaker is just busted good, so we don't have to worry about earthquakes missing into levitating Pokemon. We can even set up rocks in the face of like magic bouncers and stuff if we need to, and that's really cool. So yeah, it gives me a nice strong ground, gives me a pretty decent steel type, even though Excadrill doesn't typically function as your real steel on the team, but overall insanely strong Pokemon, and I'm so happy to have Excadrill back in the game. So next up, though, we have another returning MVP. It's going to be my boy Zapdos. We did just have Zapdos in the UNPL, but I don't care. I'm going to pick him up again. He just seemed to fit really well, and if Zapdos is ever on the board, it's a very serious consideration for me to pick him up. So yeah, as Zapdos, really just super reliable Pokemon. Sure, it lost Defog, but it's still really good this generation. Still kept Roost, still hits really freaking hard. I can't tell you how many times in the UNPL people thought I was running Spec Zapdos when it had like freaking 16 special attack investment. It just hits so hard because like a lot of its moves it wants to run are high base power. So good speed, has really decent defenses, can take a hit, pivot out. It's just one of the best pivots in the game, and of course static is really freaking annoying. So yeah, super happy to have my boy Excadrill back. And then we have the Sand Setter Tyranitar. And yep, Tyranitar, it's Tyranitar. You already know. This Pokemon is absolutely insane. It has one of the craziest move pools in the entire series, and it's going to give us sand, of course, for my boy Excadrill. And just, yeah, that's just awesome. So it's Tyranitar. Sure, it has slow speed, but it can boost that with Dragon Dance. It did lose a few tools like Rock Polish and stuff like that, but you know, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, and it's really cool. So yeah, it's T-Tar. You already know. It also has the Unnerve ability if we don't want to run Sand, and I think a lot of people kind of sleep on Unnerve because a lot of Ghost and like Psychic types, the way they get around their Dark weakness is they'll run Colbur, but with Unnerve I can just be like, yeah, no, I don't care about that, die anyway. So that's really cool. So yeah, Tyranitar, awesome Pokemon, very, very strong, and brings the Sand for the squad. And then we got a Milotic to fill in our nice bulky water type. So I really wanted a bulky water that was very self-sustaining, didn't have to rely on another Pokemon to heal it or anything like that. And Milotic fits that bill perfectly because of course it has Recover, and it doesn't have to super rely on its leftovers healing it up, because you know we're gonna be chipping ourselves with Sand. So it has 3 pretty decent abilities. Marvel Scale, of course, is crazy good. We can take advantage of like some Flame Orb Marvel Scale sets, which we'll probably be shying away from, especially if we bring Sand. But competitive is also crazy good. It definitely deters people from running Defog or random like dropping moves like Moonblast, Psychic special attack drop, Psychic special defense drop. Stuff like that. So, and yeah, sure, Milotic is not the most offensive thing in the world. It's usually going to be brought defensively, but a +2 Pokemon is a +2 Pokemon. It's still going to hit hard as hell. So, also, it got Flip Turn, and that's really, really cool. So, this is actually my first time using it since I got Flip Turn. So, very happy to have Big Milo on the team. So, next up, we got our first Terra Captain. Is going to be Salazzle. We decided to go with Terra Fire just for boosted stab, Grass to help with water types, and then Flying to help with ground types, being completely immune. A Pokemon like this that's entirely frail really appreciates a free turn to do something, and it still got like nasty plot. It could still just be really annoying with poison and substitute and stuff like that. So being able to go offensive with this Pokemon, being able to go just utility annoyance sets is just really cool, and still have a little bit of extra coverage and utility is nice. So insanely good speed tier, 117. I was talking to some people earlier, they'd be like, yo, it's kind of crazy that 110 has kind of become the default like good speed tier. So we even outpace like that, which is just really, really nice. So yeah, yeah, very cool Pokemon. I've never actually used it in singles. I think I do have it in doubles. Oh wait, no, that's not true. But either way, very cool Pokemon. Definitely looking forward to using it, especially as a Terra Cap. Superior is up next, and yeah, I am so happy to have the best grass starter to back, possibly best grass type. I don't know. I love Superior. I love this Pokemon. It is just so freaking good. Very good defenses. Pretty mediocre offenses, but that's why we got Contrary Leaf Storm. We don't care. So 113's base speed is absolutely incredible. Even like I said, beats that benchmark of like the good speed, new good speed of like 110 now, and that's really good. So Superior's always kind of had trouble with having coverage, and it can't Terra, unfortunate, but it can definitely take a few hits. It's gonna be like our primary like ground resistance, and with good defenses, and you know, Leech Seed, you know, Synthesis if we're not running Sand, and then like Glare and stuff, just to be super annoying. And yeah, and at +6, a resisted hit doesn't really feel like a resisted hit. So there's that. So yeah, Superior, awesome Pokemon. So happy to have my boy back. And next up, we got Gardevoir. So I originally was going to go with like the standard Shadow Stitch fat bulky fairy, but ended up not panning out because Screamtail got sniped, and I had to pivot. And my front office, so shout outs to Cherry, he was like, yo, just get Gardevoir, and I think it's really good on this team. And I have to agree, amazing Pokemon. A lot of people look at Gardevoir and say like, oh yeah, it's kind of slow, but like, you know, you can definitely slap a Choice Scarf on this thing, hit like an absolute truck. 125 base special attack is nothing to sneeze at. So yeah, very, very powerful Pokemon, and even has some pretty solid special defense if it needs to take some special hits, because we definitely have some Pokemon that can take a few physical hits at this point. Gardevoir can even take a couple of those. Synchronize and Trace are really busted good abilities. which is really, really cool. So yeah, Gardevoir, my first time actually taking like a more offensive fairy type as my fairy on the team, but I'm definitely looking forward to it, and definitely willing to learn a new kind of playstyle. So that's really, really cool. And next up, we got our second Terra type, and that's going to be Earthworm with that Earth Eater ability. I think we can run Sandvale, but I'm probably never going to. Just saying. Yeah, Earth Eater is fantastic. Gives me a ground immunity without having to have another flying or levitating Pokemon, which is just awesome. I got the best mold breaker Pokemon, so I don't even have to worry about that. So that's cool. So my Terra types, Steel, of course, because I gotta have that. Ghost is really cool, because I can just get rid of one of its other bigger weaknesses, being fighting. And then Electric, so I can have just no weakness at all. So there's that. So yeah, I got me an incredibly good secondary Steel type, because like I was saying, like Excadrill doesn't really function as a Steel. So I got Earthworm, and I can like set up spikes, I can, you know, Iron Defense Body Press, I can coil, I can be annoying, and I can be just there. And then if I can pair this with like maybe some Leech Seed from Superior, that'd be pretty cool too. So, but yeah, very cool to have Earthworm. I thought it was like a really fun choice as a Terra Captain as well. Next up, we got my boy Dunsparce, the return of Little Dunny. You already know I love Dunsparce. I am the CEO of the Dunsparce fan club, right next to my boy Camel. So yeah, Dunsparce is awesome. I actually legitimately think that it is a very good Pokemon, and is a very comfort kind of pick Pokemon for me. Because like with Eviolite, this thing is so bulky. Like 100 base HP is just so good. And like, sure, it doesn't have the best defenses, but then you throw the Eviolite boost on there, and it's like it's taking freaking hits for days. So that's awesome, and it just has so many options. So like, and it keeps getting more. You know, it's got Glare, it can set up rocks, it can Toxic now, it can just be super annoying. It's got, I'm sure it got some new moves with like all of the new moves that came in, but in general, super good Pokemon. Very happy to have him. He's not a Terra Captain this time, but you know, just having a good normal type is always nice. So yeah, but yeah, there's that Little Dunny ready to come back and show why he is the boss. And last but not least, we picked up Como-O to fill out the draft. So very happy that this gamble paid off for me to take it in the last slot, because after about like round 6, I noticed it was still on the board, and I was like, okay, at this point, nobody's probably looking at taking it. So we're going to just pick everything else up that we really want, and then we're going to drop the ball right at the end with Como-O. And Como fits so well, patches so many holes on this team. A powerful fighting type and a powerful dragon type all in one. It doesn't have the best speed, but of course Clanger's Soul is insane. It has freaking even Dragon Dance if I want to go that route and not sacrifice HP. It has Overcoat, so I don't have to worry about my own sand. Bulletproof is a stupid ability. Just the thing with Como-O is it forces so much prep. Like, I always hate prepping against Como-O because I never know if he's going to bring Overcoat. Is he going to bring Bullet Punch? Do I have sound-based moves that I have to worry about? So he can't run Soundproof. So yeah, it's just such a little annoying Pokemon to prep for. And yeah, so overall, I love Como-O. I think that's a really, really powerful Pokemon to have in this last slot, and it definitely pulled the team together and gave it a ton of offensive and scary, like, in-game pressure especially. Yeah, and just Como could just do so many things. But yeah, so that is my team though for the season 3 of the PDD. Let me know down below what you think about it. I think it's a pretty strong squad. You already know sand is my favorite weather. I have won my first Wi-Fi league with sand, and I definitely just feel really comfortable with the playstyle, and I am very, very happy to have not only some of my favorite Pokemon back, but my favorite playstyle back, because sand was struggling before this DLC, because the best it had was like Lycanroc, and like, don't get me wrong, Lycanroc's not a bad Pokemon. It can even tear a captain usually, but like, it is not it. Drill, he is him. So there is that. But yeah, super happy to have him to be here for the PDD, and look forward to Friday uploads going forward for this. And so keep an eye out for more draft analysis and stuff as we kick off with more draft leagues. But that being said, thank y'all so much for stopping by and watching. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. I love you all. Deuces.